Welcome to another hsextra.com high school football video. My name is Joe Serrera. I'm joined right now by Grimsley Whirly's head coach, Darryl Brown. Thank you for joining us, Coach Brown.
Thanks for always having me, Joe. Appreciate it.
I wanted to start by sending out condolences and prayers to the Reagan football family. That's the last team that the Grimsley Whirlys played against on August 27th. Lost a young man in their program, and we want to send out our prayers and thoughts to the Raiders, to Coach Josh McGee and his whole program and their families.
Yeah, absolutely. I just found out this morning, and I'll definitely be thinking about Coach McGee and his staff and that community over there. So tough situation. I hate it for those guys, and prayers for them for sure.
Yeah. We want to talk a little bit about football. That's kind of what brings us together. And the last team that your Whirlys played was that Reagan team. You guys came from a 12-point halftime deficit, came back and won 21-19 on August 27th. What did you learn about your team that night?
Well, I learned, just kind of what we were made of a little bit, being down 12-0 and not playing really focused. I thought we played hard for the most part, but we wasn't focused and we wasn't ready to play when we got off the bus. And that's my fault. That's my job to make sure that we're ready to go. And obviously we were not. And we've addressed those issues, but I was proud of how we responded at the half. And even though we didn't play well, which a lot of that is because of Reagan and how they played, I give our guys a lot of credit for finding a way to get the win and getting the job done in the end. So I think it says a lot about our resolve and just kind of how tough we were to be able to kind of overcome some adversity.
What does your team need to do going forward to get better? What were the things that got your attention in that game?
Yeah, I think just more than anything, it was just our mental approach. We got some talented guys that can make plays when need be, and we did that in the second half over at Reagan a couple of weeks ago. But mentally, we were just not in the right frame of mind. We have to understand that, we do have some talent, but we got to show up ready to play each and every week. And a lot of that comes through how we prepare during the week of practice. And like I said, we've addressed those issues, and I think we've had a pretty good week so far this week. We had a good off week. I think it came at a right time for us last week. And I feel like we've gotten better over the last few days. So I'm excited to be able to go play this Friday.
Talking about the off week, how do you as a coach and Grimsley as a program approach an off week like that, early in the season after two games, and what do you try to get out of that week to get you focused for the rest of the season?
Well, I think it's always different each and every year, depending on your team and the situation you're in. For us this year, I really think the break came at a good time just because coming out of a spring season, going right to a summer workout and right into preseason of August, and it got really hot for a couple of weeks there, leading into the first game weeks. I think just taking some time off and getting our legs under us, just kind of getting refreshed was a good thing. So for us this year, we took a couple of days off that week. Spent one day really just in film addressing our issues and doing a lot of self scouting, I guess you'd say, on us, kind of looking at what we need to do better, pointing out little things that you don't have time necessarily to do during a game week when you're preparing for someone else, is spend a lot of time just on you, because you're always having to be concerned about who you're getting ready to play and things of that nature. So we really addressed things that we didn't like about little things that we were doing that we felt like we could do better. Maybe that had been overlooked a little bit early in the season. So we just spent a lot of time trying to focus on ourselves and making sure that we were doing the things that we needed to do to get better. And we spent a couple of days on the field, but really for us, it's just about attention to detail and things that maybe we've overlooked a little bit.
After the off week, this week you traveled down to Southern Pines to take on a Pinecrest team that's 3-0. How did this matchup come about? It seems like some of the teams in the triad this year are going outside the area to find quality opponents, and you guys obviously found one. But how did this matchup come about?
Well, a lot like other guys have mentioned, we had trouble finding a game. We tried to find one for week 3, and then was going to try to make this our off week before we started conference play. But just had a hard time in the area finding somebody to be able to play one of these 2 weeks. And I think we got in touch with Pinecrest, last spring. We saw where they had an opening for week 4. They kind of offered for us to come down there this year, and they're going to come up here next year. And so we just went ahead and took it, even though it is quite, it's a good travel for us. And we'd love to play teams in the area, but we are excited about the game because it is good competition, a really good program that has, for several years, made good playoff runs, win 10 or 11 games a year. So great competition for us. It's a game we feel like that we can get better from. We're going to treat it like a playoff game as far as how we leave school and eating on the road and things of that nature. So I think it's a great tune-up, for conference play, and then hopefully for the playoffs to come later on.
When you look at this Patriots team on video, what do you see from them? I saw them at Dudley 7-on-7 during the summer, and they were one of the teams that got to the semifinals before Lightning halted things over there. But they impressed me over there. What do you see from them?
Yeah, a big, strong, physical, in-your-face, downhill, running football team. I mean, they're going to come at you, and there's no mystery as to what they're going to do. They're going to give you some unbalanced formations. They're going to run gap a million different kind of ways, which is power football. And they're good at it. Then they'll sprinkle in some play action off of it, enough to keep you honest. Make sure that your secondary is paying attention to those guys, because if they're not, then somebody's going to sneak behind you for a touchdown. But they're really good. They're good up front. They come off the ball, and their running backs do a great job of getting the ball downhill. And there's some things that we've had some trouble with at times. So I think it's a great test for us. Defensively, they have a couple of guys that really get after it on that side of the ball. They do a good job of not giving up big plays. The secondary keeps everything in front of them and force you to make mistakes. So it's going to be a big challenge. We're going to have to play really well. And I think it's going to test us in some areas that we need to be tested in.
Sounds good. I'm actually going to be down there at Southern Pines Friday night to check that game out. Looking forward to it. We thank you for once again joining us here for video, and wish you luck Friday night and the rest of the season.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it.